Do you agree that the advantages cars bring outweigh the disadvantages?
Using cars has been becoming increasingly common in recent years, although I think that it maintains some obvious harmful consequences. I strongly believe that the advantages of the car can outweigh its advantages. On the one hand, owning cars has a significant influence on the environment. The first reason is that the growth in traveling by car can lead to a rise in pollution, traffic jams, and accidents. More cars are likely to result in rocketing rate of pollution. Secondly, our dependence on cars can lead to decrease in practices, such as walking and cycling. People may have a higher chance of carrying more potential health risks like obesity and heart attack. On the other hand, there are many reasons why people prefer to own cars. Firstly, it provides people with the freedom of movement. The ease of transportation, which a car brings, is significant or prominent than any other form of vehicles. For example, you can go from a destination to another destination and no time is wasted waiting for the bus or train. Therefore, time and distance are not barriers anymore. Secondly, personal cars can give comfort while traveling compared to the public transports, which are so crowded and disgusting. For instance, you can read books, listen to your favorite songs, or even play with kids while you are in your own car, but all seems to be impossible on a public transport. Finally, families can go together. This becomes especially helpful when there are elderly, the disabled, or even sick members in the families. In conclusion, having a car can lead to a few obvious problems, but I believe that owning a car is the best choice, and the benefits that it brings about can outshine its drawbacks.
When choosing a job, the salary is the most important consideration. To what extent do you agree or disagree?
It is true that salary plays an integral part in selecting career or choosing a job. While I accept that this may sweet to many people, I believe that there are many ones choosing jobs according to other considerations. On the one hand, there are a variety of reasons for considering salary as the most crucial factor. A high income guarantees a high standard quality of life, in which the people can afford their increasing demand on not only human basic needs, but also luxurious things such as brand new accessories or overseas holidays. In addition, many people set salary as a measure of their working capacity, as well as their level in the company. The higher income they receive, the more valuable they are in their prospective employment. Therefore, not only the amount of money itself but also made-up reputation makes the salary the most concerned matter in job selection. On the other hand, there is an increasing number of people considering other conditions to make a decision on job movement. The working environment is highlighted in the requirement of many job seekers, especially for people who adore the freedom and outdoor activities. In fact, they cannot stand on the job, which requires 8 hours of sitting in front of the computer every day like a bank officer, even though this vacancy is offered the extremely competitive salary in the job market. In addition, contribution to the society is also an interesting matter that a lot of people choose. For example, instead of working for a big consulting firm in the city, many friends of mine go to rural areas, assisting and improving the performance of local enterprises. They receive a tiny amount of money, but they are happy with their choices because they help to increase the average income of the local residents. In conclusion, It is certainly true that the salary is important in job selection of many people, but this is by no means a key consideration for everybody in making a career decision.
People should follow the customs and traditions. When people start to live in a new country, to what extent do you agree or disagree?
In the modern busy life, there are a large number of immigrants who have been willing to have a comfortable life in other nations. Many advocate that people should conform to the local customs and traditions when they settle in a new country. From my perspective, I strongly agree with this idea because of some problems and benefits that people can face with them. There are two important reasons why newcomers should blend into the local culture in the host country. Firstly, the refusal to adapt to host environment would create a cultural barrier for immigrants. This leads to social isolation, which has negative influences on people's lives. Secondly, it is logical that limited knowledge of local customs may result in some illegal actions in the host country and make local people unpleased. For instance, in Singapore, one of the cleanest countries in Asia, local residents consider anyone dirty and ill-mannered if they litter the street or spit gum in the public. Newcomers can gain some benefits if they adopt the customs and traditions of a new country. One benefit is that if immigrants behave in accordance with the local norms, they will be accepted easily by local inhabitants, and as a result, they can receive respect and affections as well as some help from the local. For example, when the enterprises want to expand their production in a new country, they must be aware of business practices there, which provides them with useful information to maximize profits. Another benefit is that newcomers might gain the richness of knowledge by virtue of the local customs and traditions, which enables them to actively participate in the activities of the community. In many festivals, people are able to participate freely and feel harmonious like their own country. In conclusion, I would argue that people who dwell in a new country should follow the customs and traditions which local people observe.
There are many different types of music in the world today. Why do we need music? Is the traditional music of a country more important than the international music that is heard everywhere nowadays?
It is generally known that music holds an indispensable position for our mentality. There is a wide range of explanations for the necessity of music. Personally, I hold the perception that the traditional music of a country, compared with foreign music, is definitely more invaluable. It is undoubted that music is of necessity for humans' lives. First of all, music is considered as an efficiently recreational activity for people after a long day of hard work. Students and officers nowadays have to suffer from an enormous amount of stress from their study and work. As a matter of fact, music allows them to refresh their own moods and to be full of beans. Secondly, music is highly appreciated for its representation of culture and custom of a country. For instance, Vietnamese folk songs vividly convey how industrious Vietnamese is to introduce to international visitors. From my perspective, the value of the traditional music outweighs that of the international one, which is widely listened to by a vast majority of young people, especially teenagers all over the world. Despite the fact that hit songs are eventful, catchy, and bring us enthusiasm, they have no virtuous or meaningful messages. The traditional music, meanwhile, passes historical and traditional values on to fellow generations, which reminds them of patriotism and national proudness. Moreover, International music has recently been used for commercial purposes to gain a reputation for entertainment companies or celebrities. It has no value at all in the long run. In conclusion, music plays a vital part in life, and I strongly believe that the role of the traditional music should be recognized than that of the international music.
Many people choose to work or live abroad because of the higher standards of living they can find outside their home country. Do you think this brings more advantages or disadvantages to the people who follow this path?
In recent decades witnessed an increase in the proportion of foreign settlement, raising many questions of safety and integration. Although the ideas of potential drawbacks appear to be reasonable, I think living abroad will pay dividends. On the one hand, there is a myriad of benefits when it comes to living abroad. First, residing in another nation is conducive to the liberty from the rigid laws and social norms. For example, homosexual individuals in Russia have a propensity to move to other European countries because homosexual intercourse means capital punishment. Second, the foreign residence is invariably associated with higher opportunities of experiencing a more progressive and standardized learning environment. This means would act as an incentive for their acquisition of academic and empirical knowledge, promoting their career prospects with better social status. On the other hand, there are some potential problems pertaining to working or living in a foreign environment. First, individuals moving abroad themselves could be highly sensitive to homesickness and nostalgia. These psychological disorders would discourage their desire for integration, increasing the likelihood of isolation from the locals outside. In addition, the foreign settlement could culminate in the issues of cultural clash due to religious beliefs. For example, some Islamic refugees are susceptible to racial discrimination and even physical battery due to the prejudice that Islamism is the cause of terrorism. In conclusion, despite the ideas of safety and assimilation difficulties, the foreign residents would offer a better living standard in terms of liberty and education prospects.